In this video you will learn and hear how the Urban Puncher plugin by Soundevice sounds, so you will know if this is a tool for you. The plugin is designed to give drums and drum loops punch in an instant. Urban Puncher can work on more than just drums. Stick around until the end to find out. First thing I noticed was how the plugin looked, and I really like it. It's pretty photorealistic with even some fingerprints on it. How a plugin looks and operates is actually one of the bigger reasons for me to use a plugin on a regular basis. Some clunky operating plugin with an ugly interface doesn't really compel to me to work with. Maybe this is different for you, and I really want to know what you think of this, so please leave a comment. There's not much to this plugin. 4 dials and 2 buttons. That's all you get to work with. You have the punch dial, which sets the amount of punch you get, a dry-wet control, the saturation dial with which you dial in the amount of saturation, the destroy button for an extra boost of saturation, and there's a bypass switch. Let's go over the sound, and for that I recorded a drum loop with a modern alt-pop vibe with the drums and mic setup you see right now. The punch which you dial in is a combination of a few processors. There's dynamic processing, transient shaping and EQ. You can hear that well on this tom. The sound gets shorter and there's a big boost of attack. The low end is shortened as well. Now, by dialing up the saturation and enable the destroy mode, you get most of the original sound back, but with a nice splashy attack and a thicker sound overall. With the Urban Puncher plugin, I always prefer to use the saturation. I used Urban Puncher on every track of the music you hear right now. Let's do a before and after comparison. This is the track before using any of the Urban Puncher plugins. And this is after using them. You hear that mostly on drums you get more punch and clarity, and the drums are leveled up, so to speak. Mind you, these are raw recorded drum tracks, there's no processing other than a bit of gating. The incoming level of the original audio is of influence on how this plugin reacts and sounds. Because of that, I really miss an input gain control. You can of course raise the level of the audio going in the audio track in your DAW, but a dedicated control is just so much easier. The combination of the punch and the saturation helps bringing out the clarity, and the plugin works well to round off the sound of this down-tuned dampened snare. And this mid-rangey kick also improves quite a bit with the Urban Puncher. I have basically fully dialed up the pusher setting and the saturation on every track. Now, the dry-wet is only for the puncher dial. Saturation is not available in parallel, which I think would be of benefit when you want to use it, for instance on the master bus. This brings me to my bonus tip for this video. But before we do that, please subscribe to the channel if you like this type of plugin reviews. It helps the channel a lot. Okay, the bonus tip. If you use Urban Puncher as a send effect on any track, or as in this case the master bus, you will have the benefit of adding EQ before the plugin and with that shape the overall behavior. You have to be careful though with the phase. I flipped the phase on the channel because even though it still cancels frequencies, I like the sound like this. Blend it in to taste and you can go from more subtle thickening to getting a destroyed, dirty tape-like effect. Download the plugin using the link in the description. I find that using a plugin like the Expanse 3D after Urban Puncher will push the tracks even more. Watch the video on screen to find out how the Expanse 3D sounds and works. I'll see you in that video. Bye.